For decades, Hollywood's golden age has been celebrated as a world of glamour, elegance, and unforgettable stars. But behind the flashing cameras and carefully crafted public images, some legends left behind mysteries that continue to fascinate historians and fans alike. Were these iconic women simply ahead of their time, challenging society's expectations in ways few could understand? Or is there more to their stories than the public was ever meant to know? Tonight, we explore 8 extraordinary figures whose lives sparked questions, speculation, and debates that still echo through history. Actor number 1: Katharine Hepburn. When conversations turn to Hollywood's most influential women, few names command as much respect as Katharine Hepburn. Celebrated for her intelligence, confidence, and remarkable screen presence, she became one of the defining figures of classic American cinema. Yet behind her legendary career was a woman who consistently challenged the expectations of her era. Born in Connecticut in 1907, Hepburn grew up in an environment that encouraged independent thinking and self-expression. While many young women of the time were expected to follow traditional social norms, she developed a strong sense of individuality that would later distinguish her from nearly every actress in Hollywood. Even before achieving fame, she showed little interest in changing her personality to gain public approval. As her career expanded, audiences were drawn to her unique combination of elegance and determination. Unlike many stars who carefully crafted glamorous public images, Hepburn preferred authenticity. She often rejected industry expectations, choosing to live according to her own principles rather than Hollywood's unwritten rules. This independence became one of her most recognizable traits and helped shape her public identity. Over the years, her unconventional lifestyle sparked widespread discussion among fans, journalists, and critics. Many were fascinated by a woman who seemed completely comfortable standing apart from the crowd. While others worried about public opinion, Hepburn remained focused on her craft, allowing her performances to define her legacy rather than the speculation surrounding her personal life. That confidence ultimately became her greatest strength. Decades after her rise to fame, Katharine Hepburn continues to be remembered not only as an extraordinary actress but as a symbol of individuality. In an industry built on image, she proved that authenticity could be even more powerful than conformity. Actor number 2: Greta Garbo. Few stars in Hollywood history have carried an aura of mystery quite like Greta Garbo. Known for her striking beauty, quiet confidence, and unforgettable screen presence, she became one of the most celebrated actresses of the Golden Age. Yet despite her worldwide fame, Garbo remained one of the most private figures the entertainment industry had ever seen. Born in Stockholm, Sweden, in 1905, Garbo came from humble beginnings before pursuing a career in acting. Her natural talent quickly attracted attention, leading her from European cinema to the heart of Hollywood. As her popularity grew, audiences became captivated not only by her performances but also by the sense of mystery that seemed to surround her every move. Unlike many stars who embraced publicity, Garbo avoided the spotlight whenever possible. She rarely shared details about her personal life and often distanced herself from the celebrity culture that dominated Hollywood. This unusual approach only increased public fascination. The less she revealed, the more people wanted to know about the woman behind the legendary image. Throughout her career, Garbo portrayed strong, complex characters who often challenged traditional expectations. Her intelligence, independence, and refusal to conform made her stand out in an industry where image was carefully controlled. While countless rumors and theories emerged over the years, Garbo never felt compelled to respond. Instead, she allowed her work to speak for itself. Even after stepping away from the screen at a relatively young age, her legend continued to grow. Decades later, Greta Garbo remains one of cinema's most intriguing figures. Her story is not simply one of fame and success, but of a woman who chose privacy over publicity and mystery over explanation, creating an enduring legacy that continues to captivate audiences around the world. Actor number 3: Marlene Dietrich. Among the most unforgettable figures of Hollywood's golden age, Marlene Dietrich stood in a category entirely her own. With her distinctive voice, captivating presence, and fearless approach to self-expression, she became an international icon whose influence extended far beyond the silver screen. Yet it was her willingness to challenge convention that truly set her apart. Born in Berlin, Germany, in 1901, Dietrich entered the entertainment world at a young age and quickly gained attention for her charisma and confidence. Her breakthrough performances opened the door to Hollywood, where she soon became one of the industry's biggest stars. Audiences were drawn to her elegance and sophistication, but they were equally fascinated by her refusal to be limited by society's expectations. At a time when public images were carefully controlled, Dietrich projected a sense of independence that felt revolutionary. She often embraced styles, attitudes, and roles that challenged traditional ideas of femininity, creating a public persona unlike anything Hollywood had seen before. Her confidence inspired admiration from supporters while also generating discussion among critics who struggled to understand her unconventional approach. As her fame grew, so did the curiosity surrounding her life. Journalists and fans frequently speculated about the woman behind the glamorous image, but Dietrich rarely allowed outside opinions to influence her decisions. Instead, she continued to build a career defined by authenticity, courage, and artistic freedom. What made Marlene Dietrich remarkable was not simply her success, but her determination to remain true to herself regardless of public expectations. Long after her final performances, her impact continues to be felt throughout the entertainment world. She remains a symbol of confidence, individuality, and the power of embracing one's own identity in a world that often demands conformity. Actor 4 Joan Crawford. When discussing the most ambitious and determined women in Hollywood history, Joan Crawford is a name that cannot be overlooked. Rising from a difficult childhood to become one of the biggest stars of her generation, she built a career defined by resilience, discipline, and an unwavering desire to succeed. Yet behind the glamour and success was a woman whose life remained a constant source of fascination. Born in Texas in 1905, Crawford faced significant challenges long before she entered the world of entertainment. Unlike many stars who came from comfortable backgrounds, she fought tirelessly for every opportunity she received. Her determination eventually brought her to Hollywood, where her talent, charisma, and relentless work ethic quickly earned attention from major studios. As her fame expanded, Crawford carefully crafted an image of elegance, confidence, and sophistication. Audiences admired her powerful performances and her ability to portray strong, complex characters on screen. However, her intense dedication to success also fueled countless stories, rumors, and public discussions. Many viewed her as one of the most driven personalities in the industry, willing to overcome any obstacle standing between her and her goals. Throughout her career, Crawford experienced both extraordinary triumphs and difficult setbacks. Yet what separated her from many of her contemporaries was her refusal to give up when circumstances became challenging. Time and again, she reinvented herself, proving that determination could be just as important as talent. Decades later, Joan Crawford remains one of Hollywood's most enduring legends. Her story is not only about fame and achievement but also about perseverance. In an industry where careers often faded quickly, she demonstrated the power of resilience, transforming herself into an icon whose influence continues to be remembered long after the golden age of Hollywood came to an end. Actor number 5 Barbara Stanwyck. Among the many stars who shaped Hollywood's golden age, Barbara Stanwyck earned a reputation for something far more valuable than glamour alone: authenticity. Known for her remarkable versatility, emotional depth, and unwavering professionalism, she became one of the most respected actresses of her generation. Yet behind her success was a life marked by resilience, determination, and an extraordinary ability to overcome adversity. Born in New York City in 1907, Stanwyck faced hardship from an early age. Losing both parents while still young, she learned independence long before most people her age. These experiences helped shape the strength and self-reliance that would later define both her personality and her career. Rather than allowing difficult circumstances to limit her future, she used them as motivation to pursue greater opportunities. As she entered the entertainment industry, Stanwyck quickly distinguished herself from many of her contemporaries. Audiences were captivated by her natural performances and her ability to portray a wide range of complex characters. Whether playing strong-willed heroines or emotionally layered women facing difficult choices, she brought a level of realism that resonated deeply with viewers. Her reputation for professionalism became legendary throughout Hollywood. Directors and fellow actors admired her dedication, while audiences appreciated the sincerity she brought to every role. Yet despite her success, she maintained a relatively private personal life, creating an air of curiosity that followed her throughout her career. What made Barbara Stanwyck truly exceptional was her refusal to rely solely on fame or image. Instead, she earned respect through hard work, consistency, and talent. Decades after her final performances, she remains one of Hollywood's most admired figures, a symbol of perseverance, independence, and excellence. Actor number 6 Tallulah Bankhead. Few personalities in Hollywood history were as bold, charismatic, and unforgettable as Tallulah Bankhead. Known for her sharp wit, commanding presence, and fearless individuality, she became one of the most talked-about figures of her era. While many stars carefully protected their public image, Bankhead built her reputation by embracing a life that was entirely her own. Born into a prominent Alabama family in 1902, she was introduced to public attention at an early age. However, rather than following a conventional path, Bankhead quickly developed a reputation for independence and unpredictability. Her natural confidence and magnetic personality helped her stand out in both theater and film, earning admiration from audiences on both sides of the Atlantic. As her career flourished, Bankhead became known not only for her acting talent but also for her larger-than-life character. She possessed an ability to capture attention whenever she entered a room, and her outspoken nature often made headlines. Unlike many celebrities who preferred carefully scripted public appearances, Bankhead spoke openly and confidently, rarely worrying about how others might judge her. This refusal to conform fascinated both supporters and critics. Her unconventional lifestyle and strong personality frequently became topics of public discussion, adding to the sense of intrigue that surrounded her career. Yet despite the attention, she remained unapologetically herself, refusing to sacrifice her individuality to satisfy public expectations. Actor number 7 April Ashley. Among the most remarkable stories of the 20th century, few are as inspiring as that of April Ashley. Known for her elegance, determination, and extraordinary resilience, she became a pioneering figure whose life challenged social expectations and opened conversations that were far ahead of her time. Her journey from obscurity to international recognition remains one of the most compelling personal stories of her era. Born in Liverpool, England, in 1935, Ashley grew up during a period when discussions surrounding identity were rarely understood by mainstream society. From an early age, she experienced feelings that set her apart from those around her, creating challenges that would shape much of her early life. Despite these difficulties, she remained determined to build a future that reflected her true sense of self. Her life changed dramatically when she moved into the world of fashion and entertainment. With striking beauty, confidence, and sophistication, Ashley quickly attracted attention within elite social circles. As her profile grew, she became a successful model and public figure, admired for both her appearance and her remarkable poise under pressure. However, fame also brought intense public scrutiny. During a time when society often struggled to understand people who lived outside traditional expectations, Ashley faced challenges that few could imagine. Yet rather than retreating from public life, she demonstrated extraordinary courage, continuing to move forward despite criticism and controversy. Actor number 8 Christine Jorgensen. The final story on our list belongs to a woman whose name became known around the world and whose journey sparked conversations that would continue for generations. Christine Jorgensen was not a Hollywood actress in the traditional sense, yet her influence on public awareness and cultural history was so significant that she became one of the most recognizable figures of her time. Born in New York City in 1926, Christine grew up during an era when discussions surrounding personal identity were rarely understood or openly addressed. Like many people facing similar struggles, she spent years searching for answers while living in a society that offered little understanding or support. Despite these challenges, she remained determined to find a path that reflected who she truly believed herself to be. Everything changed when her personal journey attracted international media attention. Almost overnight, Christine became the subject of newspaper headlines across the world. For many people, it was the first time they had encountered a story like hers. Public curiosity was immense, and reactions ranged from admiration to confusion. Yet throughout the attention, Christine maintained remarkable composure and dignity. Rather than allowing public scrutiny to define her, she chose to use her platform to educate and inform. Through interviews, public appearances, and personal advocacy, she helped introduce complex conversations to a wider audience at a time when such topics were rarely discussed openly. Her willingness to speak publicly required immense courage, particularly given the social attitudes of the period.